Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all give me a second. Let me set up a little bit something. I see we got a couple of people watching. Thank y'all for joining this afternoon. Y'all give me a second. Let me try to set up something. Hopefully, it'll make this broadcast go a little bit more, a little bit better. Give me a second. How y'all doing? Oh yeah, y'all know who this is. Y'all know what time it is. This your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Oh yeah, man. Today is Sunday, February 27th, 2022. Hey, what's going on, Watson? Brother Anthony, how you doing, man? Glad you can join me. I'm doing okay. Just want to chime in for a little bit, man. As like we said in the description section of the video, this is about Russia and the Ukraine. I'm trying my best to um, give out as much information I can without saying something that'll get this channel um, reported. You know, basically everything that I'm about to say is based upon factual research, history. Um, as you know, I'm gonna try to give you all a brief history of how we got to where we are today. But as far as an in-depth history, I'm not going to, go too far in detail. That's for another broadcast. But I just want you all to understand how we got to the point where we are today, where Russia is inside of the Ukraine. Now, I'm gonna try to wait until we get a few more, people in before I go off in. I know that nobody was expecting me to be here live right now. Of course, you know, the inconsistency with this channel is not that I don't care or that I'm not, interested in doing these type of videos. It's just I have a lot going on in my personal life. And it's kind of hard, really, y'all, to take the time to do these videos when, there's other things that I be needing to do to take, to support myself. So I apologize, but this video, I was just going to take the day off, man, and just lay back and figure out some things, for this week upcoming. But I decided to do this video, because I know if you look at the mainstream media, man, it is pathetic how we are being lied to and how propaganda is in full force. I'm talking about it's literally a psychological operation being waged against American citizens as far as the true information as to what's really going on over there in the Ukraine. And again, I want to try to wait till we get more people in, and at least a few more people in. Let me share this. Let me share this video. This broadcast to my other social media platform. But as you all come in, man, please let me know where you coming in from. What city, state, or country that you watching this broadcast from. And I'm hoping we get somebody on here that's from that area. I notice we have subscribers from all over the world. I don't know for sure we have a subscriber in that part of the world, but please, if we do, chime in. But let us know, man. Hit the like button also. Make sure you subscribe, all those type of things. Hit that little bell. But make sure you please hit the like button. And most importantly, I really be liking you all. I really like you all's comments when you all come in. You all's comments make the broadcast a whole lot better. All right now, y'all, give me a second. I'm trying to share this to my social media platform. And then I'm gonna go in and break down to you how we get to this military operation that's taking place in the Ukraine. Right now, we got a couple people watching. I'm gonna go ahead and start. I don't want to keep everybody too long. Give me a second. But anyway, how was y'all weekend? Again, as you all come in, man, please leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. West Palm Beach, Florida. All right. Thank you, Raz Cash, for joining us. And I'm going to get ready to go ahead. I'm just trying to. Okay, here we are. Give me 1 second. I don't know why this device running so slow. But I'm going to break down to y'all what's really going on over in Ukraine. And I'm going to take you on a brief history all the way back to 2014. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get started. Y'all give me a second. It's finally come up. Okay, now here we are. Thank you all for joining, man. Please, if y'all in, hit that like button for me. But let's get started. Now, in 2014, the United States government helped sponsor a revolution, a coup d'etat. They overthrew that then the rightfully elected government of the Ukraine. At that time, the Ukrainian people, they were divided. Part of them wanted to join the European sphere of influence, and then you had another part who had ties to Russia. So after the United States in 2014 overthrew the pro-Russian government of the Ukraine, they put in a new government. And inside this government were a bunch of neo-Nazis, literally. Our government overthrew the Ukrainian government, the elected government, and put in a puppet government full of Nazis, literally. Go back and do the research. See if you can go back and find the phone call right after the president at that time, I keep forgetting his name, was overthrew. They overthrew that president and put in a president, Poroshenko. Poroshenko was the United States puppet. You see what I'm saying? They put him in that position so that they can try to continue to capitalize off the corruption that was going in there, and so that they themselves could try to basically encroach upon Russia's security situation. All right, now let me go back a little bit more detail. Now, once they overthrew this government and put those neo-Nazis in there, ever since then, 2014, our government has been sending, not only our government, but Western governments have been sending weapons of war. They call it lethal weapons, lethal aid to the Ukraine. Now, you got to go back and look at various treaties. When NATO was first incorporated back, I think it was in the late 40s or early 50s, somewhere in that time, NATO was basically created, and it was supposed to be a defensive, a deterrent for Russian expansion westward. It was basically created to be a security deterrent. But it turns out, I think it was in 1980 something, NATO became an aggressor when they invaded Yugoslavia. That's a whole different story. But I'm trying to give you all an idea of what NATO was, how it plays a part in this whole thing. Now, once we overthrew that government in 2014, those neo-Nazis that's embedded into the the Ukrainian military, because once we started arming them, we started funding these neo-Nazi groups. And this group of neo-Nazis who was incorporated into the military, look up the Azov Battalion. You'll understand what that is all about. The Azov Battalion that's in the Ukrainian army. Nothing but neo-Nazis, the same people that Hitler, the same party, and same people who regularly idolize Adolf Hitler. They get their whole doctrine from Hitler. They are Nazis. They started a bombing campaign against the Russians in an area called the Donbass. This is an area of the Ukraine where there's pretty much all Russian-speaking Ukrainians. These people have ethnic ties. They have religious ties. They have social ties to Russia. Now, the Ukrainian government, basically for the last 10 years, just say last 8 years, have been bombing the hell out of these people and have literally murdered 14,000 Ukrainians in the Donbass area of the Ukraine. This is important now. This is why last week Vladimir Putin moved to recognize Luhansk and Donetsk, those two parts of the Ukraine. He recognized those two areas, the ones that the neo-Nazis were bombing. He recognized them as legitimate states, self-sufficient, self-sovereign, self-governing states. This gave him now the moral authority to go into the Ukraine and demilitarize, in the words of Vladimir Putin, he wants to demilitarize and denazify the Ukraine. Because again, the Western governments since 2014, the last 8 years, have been sneaking weapons into Ukraine, right on Russia's front door. So it's a two-part attack that Vladimir Putin initiated when he went inside of the Ukraine. His first part was to destroy the weapons that the West is giving to the Ukraine. That's the demilitarized part. Now, the denazifying part is where he's over there. If you notice his troop movement, it's along a line that's surrounding and protecting the Donbass area, that area where the Ukrainian government with the neo-Nazis have murdered over 14,000 people. How come you don't hear about that part? Where the Ukrainian government in the last 8 years was shelling the Donbass area, killing innocent women and children. Again, it's record, it's fact. They have murdered over 14,000 people in that area in the last 8 years. This is another reason why Russia went in to protect those people by surrounding that city with those two nations, but pretty much the whole Donbass area. That's including of the Crimean Peninsula. See, they would like to tell you that this is an invasion. You want to know what an invasion look like? Let me ask y'all a question. In the last 30 years, how many countries has Russia invaded? None. In the last 30 years, how many countries has the United States invaded? Oh, we start off with Iraq, Afghanistan. We are still occupying illegally the Syrian oil fields. There's Libya, there's Yemen, there was what is another country? But anyway, y'all get my drift. Who has been the most violent and hostile country in the last 30 years that literally invades other countries that really pose no threat to us? They tell us they went to Afghanistan to in the name of freedom and democracy to protect our way of life, our freedoms here. How is blowing up a bunch of people in the middle of the desert who don't even really have shoes, who don't even have toilet paper? They don't have running water half the day. They don't have lights half the day. How are these people a threat? In every other nation that the United States invaded, how have they been a threat to us here in America? But see, this is the hypocrisy and the psychological game that is being played on us here in America. Because when you look at the news, we invade in the name of freedom, bringing freedom and democracy to other countries. Russia is invading to overtake the Ukraine, from what the narrative is. But the Russians, I believe not, if they really wanted to occupy, and overthrow the Ukraine, they would have came with a whole lot more force, and they would have been really. They probably would have tried to do it within 24 hours. All they had to do was just march straight through to Kiev and seize power from the in the capital. Again, as you all come in, please leave your comments, man. Let me know where you're from and leave your likes. But I would like some of you all's comments. That will help make this broadcast. Give me a second. We got a couple people watching right now live. Give me a second. All right, y'all give me a second. I'm just checking out where we at. Also, y'all see down at the bottom. And y'all see down at the bottom, that's the financial information. If y'all like what we're doing, please look at one of those sources, man. You can make a donation to this channel, help us continue to do what we're doing. But yeah, I'm figuring out something new on here. And again, because that anything that you all can help us with, man, that will help, because right now they're not allowing us to get our monetization. We've met all the criteria, and at one point they were allowing us to be monetized, but for some reason, I know what it is. It's because of the subject matter that I speak. You know, they don't want you all to get your notifications. They don't want to do the right thing by letting us run ads, which will help generate revenue. And because if this channel was self-sufficient, man, I'd be able to do a video every day. But YouTube is doing so. I'm trying to get in touch with them via the community, AdSense community, all those different things. So y'all pray for me on that they'll eventually let us get our monetization back. But again, until then, there's the information down at the bottom, floating down at the bottom of the screen. If you really like what we do, man, shit don't take but $5 of y'all to make a $5 donation right now. And believe it or not, that could be something as simple as going up there, putting on this little Wi-Fi router that I bought. Yep. And it is basically, it helps. So anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. Now, again, this situation in Russia is nowhere near what we're being told by the mainstream media as it's a Russian act of aggression. No, the United States and the Western world has put weapons right at the front door of Russia. Again, I ask you a question. If you got an enemy that lives in another state, but this enemy is rich and powerful, and he's able to put weapons aimed at you in all your neighbors, the neighbors that live on both sides of you, the neighbors that live in front of you, the neighbors that live 2 houses. I mean, your whole house now is surrounded by weapons that your enemy is putting in your neighbors' front and backyards. What would you do? Would you continue to allow that enemy, when you have enough power, to destroy a great portion of these weapons, especially the weapons that the powerful neighbor across the street? If you continue to allow them to put these weapons in your neighbor's front yard, in your neighbor's yard, pointed at your house, eventually, where will those weapons be used against? Who will those weapons be used against? You. So this is what Putin is trying to do. You notice as of right now that he's pretty much keeping his operations aimed at military targets. You know, they show you some false information, like y'all heard about this supposed to be Ghost of Kiev, who's supposed to shot down 6 Russian planes by itself. That's hard to believe, because as of right now, there's only been 6 or 7, just say 7, no more than 8 Russian planes that have been shot down. So that means one man in one day had to shoot down 6 planes that's in different areas in the field of combat. That's not possible. So we're being lied to, and let me show you how basically the United States is now trying to play the game. So you got to realize our government facilitated this whole thing, bro. It's basically like you got a bully on the playground, biggest bully on the playground. He finds a little boy that just want to be just like him, so he puts this little boy up to fight against his arch enemy. You know what I'm saying? The one bully just puts the little boy up against another bully that the bully really kind of scared to fight. That's what's happening. Now you notice the United States been sending all these weapons over there for the last 8 years, dangling the hopes that the Ukrainian nation will be able to join NATO, basically pushing them up to fight against Russia. And now that Russia is over there, tear their ass out the frame, the United States said, well, we didn't tell y'all we were going to send no troops over there. We just told y'all that we got your back. How do they have their back? They take your tax dollars. Now think about this. Just in the last 6-7 months, the United States government alone has sent over $600 billion worth of weapons to the nation of the Ukraine. That's $600 billion of your money that they sent over to the Ukraine and that Russia is now destroying. And guess what they're doing now? They're crafting more military aid packages, meaning more of your tax dollars are being spent to make bombs to send to the Ukraine so that they can defend off a Russian attack. But we're not going to send troops. NATO's not going to send no troops over there. I don't know what gave y'all that idea, Ukraine, but y'all really are on your own now. That's basically what the United States is telling the Ukraine. We never said we were going to send troops over there to help y'all if the Russians do attack. So now the United States has gotten these people over there, got them basically facing the Russian onslaught, and left them stuck out. This is how the United States does business. You see what I'm saying? They got the Ukrainians to fight the war that they want. But now that the Ukrainians are in the midst of this war, they're basically, y'all give me a second. They're basically on their own because the United States is not going to help them. All the time y'all call for desperate measures. So again, y'all, as y'all come in, we got a couple of y'all watching. Please, man, it's imperative. Leave a comment. Most important, man, hit that like button. Because let's see, we got 6 people watching thus far. Make sure that you're notified too, notifications, because I'm still getting a lot of people. Whenever I do a video, I have a lot of people saying that they're not getting notified when I do these videos. And I keep saying, man, I want to be consistent. I'll be a little bit more consistent, but it's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? Again, trying to get my personal situation, which God is blessing me every day. It gets a lot better. I remember this time last year, y'all remember those who've been following me. This time last year, you know, business has slowed down for me. I'm basically losing the place where I was staying. So I've fought and overcome a lot to keep bringing y'all this real news behind the news. Y'all excuse me, give me 1 second. I'm trying to check out something real fast. Okay. Let's see. We thank you. We got so far. We got 6 views and 4 likes. You know, if y'all notice, when you look at the views as far as when I do a video and you go to YouTube and they show you how many people watched it. As you notice, consistently when I do these videos, the likes are basically for every 5 people that watch one of these videos, you're gonna have 2 likes. You know what I'm saying? Those are good statistics. Also, I noticed that even though I don't consistently do a broadcast, we're constantly getting new subscribers every week, and I really like to thank y'all for that. Hey, Brother Lee Hunter, I'm trying to give the best information I can, and the information that I'm giving is based upon research, history of the principles that's involved. If you are a free thinker, y'all give me 1 second. Give me just 1 second. 1 second, please. Okay, I apologize for that, y'all. But I just want to say, if you are a free thinker in any kind of way, one of the main things you're going to always do is ask questions whenever you're being told something. I mean, that goes back to when we was kids. When we really didn't understand something, the best way to understand was ask questions. Now that we're an adult, and we know for a fact that our mainstream media lies to us. Think about it, they lied to us to get into the Iraq war. They lied to us to get into Afghanistan. They flat out lied and just hide the fact again that we're illegally occupying Syria. Why don't they tell us about the illegal occupation of Palestine, with Israel? Why don't they tell us what's really going on in Yemen? Why don't they tell us that the United States is going through Africa, overthrowing, sponsoring coups in a lot of the nations of Africa? See, the only way you find this stuff out, man, is you think as a free thinker. They always tell us to think outside the box. Well, I always say, get outside of the box and think. Think about this. The threat to the Russian security by them putting weapons right there in Ukraine is so serious that despite the threat of sanctions, despite the rest of the world condemning Russia for that move, Russia felt that it was so serious that they had to. Now think about this. This incursion into the Ukraine by Russia did not just take place over the last few weeks. Remember the last few weeks they kept telling us that an invasion was imminent. It could happen any day. Your government had intel about it, but you got to realize this whole situation has been going on basically for the last 8 years since the United States, again, do your research, supported a coup d'etat in the Ukraine in 2014 under Barack Obama. Now, Obama, I got to give him credit when he realized that the funding and the weapons were going to neo-Nazis. Obama basically went against the military-industrial complex and said, I'm not going to send weapons to these people anymore. But Congress went around him and kept sending weapons. Obama realized what he had done and basically backpedaled on it, and he tried to basically duck out of it and save face. Now, I have to give him credit for that. After he realized again that they were arming neo-Nazis, you got to realize those people that Russia is fighting right now are Nazis. The same people who, if they could right now, would launch an attack against Israel. Those same people who are anti-Semitic, I'm talking about totally anti-Semitic, those are the people that the United States were funding, and those are the people right now who Russia is striking. Again, this is why Putin said he is going to demilitarize and denazify the Ukraine, and that's what is happening. So we got a couple of you out here. I know you all might have some questions. I don't just want to be sitting here talking, the whole time and just giving my interpretation. If you have a different view, leave a comment, please. Other than that, I mean, I like when we don't have that many comments or that much engagement, y'all. I usually just cut the video broadcast short, and you know, because that way I'm not doing this just to be seen. I'm doing this to bring relevant information to the people who really want to know an alternative point of view. Is there something else that is going on that we're not being told? And that's what I do. I am not a news reporter, a journalist. I am a person who listens to all types on a daily basis, man. I might look at least literally 50 to 100 different news sources on the same subject. You know, pro-right, I mean, far left, far right, moderate, progressive, religious. I look at all points of views, and then I make my decisions based upon historical fact and precedent, plus all the facts that I can gather from all these sources. And I put all that together and I come up with a logical conclusion. If nothing else, I come up with a logical question that I ask. And once I ask questions, that leads me further into my research. And you eventually you come up with a truth based upon logic and reason. And again, there's no logic for Russia to just want to invade the Ukraine. What would they gain strategically by invading and taking over the Ukraine? Outside of making sure that no more weapons are being funneled. Because just think, 4 weeks ago, Germany would not even allow the West or any other countries to fly weapons in their airspace to Ukraine. Now Germany is about to give the Ukraine weapons. And Germany has a lot to lose when it comes down to another reason that Russia feels threatened, and it's because of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Now the sanctions are going to backfire to a degree against the West, because now all Russia has to do, you got to realize Russia is one of the biggest suppliers of natural gas to Europe. And what the Americans want is that pipeline that's going from Russia to Germany shut down so that your American gas companies can be the biggest supplier of gas to Europe, which is going to raise the price, because now you look at it, you got a pipeline coming straight from Russia going straight to the European energy facilities. If Russia shuts that down, now the European countries got to buy their gas from America, meaning they're going to cost more, because now we got to ship it from America to Europe. That's going to raise gas prices all around the world. Right now, you can see the price of gasoline going up. I guarantee you, probably within, as long as this conflict with Russia and Ukraine lasts, I say, but then by next week, you're going to see $4 a gallon gas. By the end of March, the gas will be $5 to $7 in a lot of places. So this military conflict between Ukraine and Russia has the potential to draw the whole world into it financially and also militarily. Although I do not think Russia is going to go any further than its stated objective, which is to demilitarize the Ukraine. Basically, again, what Russia is doing is seeking out all those weapons that has been funded and funneled to the Ukraine by Western governments, and they're taking them out. They're also literally forming a protective shield around the people of the Donbass area. I suggest that you all study the Donbass, and then you'll have a better insight as to what is really part of the reason why Russia is doing what they're doing. Because again, the mainstream media is not telling you that the neo-Nazi government of the Ukraine basically banned Russian as a religion, basically made it illegal. I mean, they banned the Russian language. They have been shelling the people of the Donbass, which are mostly Russian-speaking Ukrainians, ethnically Russian citizens that live in Ukraine. They have been shelling these people for the last 8 years, trying to wipe them out in a genocidal attempt at a genocide, to wipe that group of people out, and they have murdered over 14,000, not 1,400, 14,000 people in the last 8 years. This is your Ukrainian government that is sponsored by the United States. So with that being said, man, if we don't have any more comments, I'll go ahead and end this video. Now, we're going to talk about what's going on in Canada, but that situation up there in Canada seems to be coming to a roundabout end in a roundabout way. But we also have to look at, now that there's a freedom convoy here taking place here in America, that's scheduled to be in Washington, D.C., I think sometime next week. We want to see how that's going to be. Is the United States going to do exactly like Canada did and declare martial law to basically shut down a peaceful protest? That's what happened in Canada. And you know, if you really pay attention and understand the ideas that Justin Trudeau implemented, for as freezing people's bank account, taking away their CDLs, taking away their trucks, suspending their trucking insurance. They got those ideas from the United States government, y'all. So we want to see how it's going to be when that freedom convoy that's here in America makes it to Washington, D.C. We want to see how they're going to respond. Also, I want to see, is this freedom convoy here in America a psychological operation designed to, when they get there, to kick off trouble so that they can basically forcefully crack down. But if they do crack down on that freedom convoy in America, you know that all your freedoms. What about the Keystone Pipeline here? That's crazy, Brother Hunter, because think about it. We shut down the Keystone Pipeline here in America, and now we're asking other countries to produce more oil so that we can go and purchase it from them. I have no idea why Biden would have done such a foolish thing as shutting the Keystone Pipeline down, but some people have said that it was because Warren Buffett is a major owner or has a major share in that Keystone Pipeline, and he also had, forgive me, let me go back. Warren Buffett has a major interest in a railroad that ships a lot of oil and gas throughout America, and shutting the pipeline down, Keystone Pipeline, was a way that Biden rewarded him for his donations and his support for the campaign. We do know that partially that is true for sure, because we do know that Warren Buffett, I forget which railroad it is, United Rail, I think it's United Railroad, whatever it is. But either way it goes, Warren Buffett is basically in control now of shipping the majority of the oil and gas through rail here in America. But that pipeline coming from up north through Canada and all that was a major source of oil and gas for the United States. And for some reason, they shut it down. It's amazing how that the politics that's being played behind oil and gas. We know that our country will go and invade other countries behind oil and gas. But remember, wasn't it just last year, a year before last, that America was bragging on how self-sufficient we were on our oil, on how our oil reserves are some of the largest in the world, and we lead the nation #1 as far as oil production? This was just 2 years ago. Now here we are at the point we're facing almost $5 a gallon gas with all the oil reserves that we have throughout America, not to mention all the oil we have in the Gulf Coast, on the Atlantic coast. Yeah, we have enough oil here in America to be self-sufficient, but for some reason, Joe Biden refuses to release it. Hence, again, with the Keystone Pipeline, we don't have a clue as to what was this going through this man's mind when he shut that down, knowing that there was a major supply of oil that we didn't have to import from other places. So the logic behind that, Brother Hunter, is it's mind-boggling. It's hard to understand the rationale, the thinking of the Biden administration for shutting the Keystone Pipeline down. It really makes no logical sense unless the theory that I had mentioned earlier, that he basically was appeasing Warren Buffett and shutting that pipeline down, which now allows Union Pacific. I don't know which one. I think it might be Union Pacific, but whatever it is, that that train company that Buffett owns is now responsible for shipping a lot of gas intercontinentally here in the United States. So that's the best I can explain on the Keystone Pipeline. It's a political favor owed to Buffett by Biden. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And if I am, it's only probably about 30%. I probably got 70% of that right, and other 30% as unknown factors, but not, that I just haven't really ran across yet. But any more questions, please? Your questions are the most important part. And again, I make an appeal to you all. If you all like what we do here, the information down at the bottom of the screen is to Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Again, YouTube will not allow us. Well, at one point we were monetized, but for some reason YouTube is not allowing me to reset my asset account and get our monetization. So anything that you all can see fit with blessing this channel with would be a blessing. You can do it through Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. But yeah, make sure also again that you are subscribed, because YouTube has been notorious for unsubscribing or unsubscribing and not letting the subscriber to this channel know, be notified when we do videos. I have so many of you all tell me that you are not receiving notifications when we go live. So best way to do that is every time you see a video coming from this channel, may automatically hit the subscribe button again. Make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you hit that bell. Also, please share these videos, man, because the more people that you all help see these videos, the harder it is for YouTube to bury this channel in the algorithm. And that's what's basically been happening. The algorithms that they have basically allows them to suppress. Just say if they got, just say if you type in Russia versus Ukraine, there might be 3,000 titles that say Russian versus Ukraine. They're going to put my title, my version, my page, my channel all the way at the bottom. So what you'll be doing is scrolling through all the propaganda first, the sources that they want you to listen to, your ABCs, your CBSs, your NBCs, your Foxes. All those are going to pop right up at the top. And you got to keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Out of 3,000, mine might be 2,998. So they bury this channel. This is why you see a lot of YouTubers pretty much just always saying, make sure you hit the like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Also, when you comment, your comments go a long way in helping with the algorithms. So again, yeah, not only am I trying to keep my personal life above water, but to do this channel, yeah, I have to ask you all for some support through your views, your likes, your shares, your comment, and even through your financial situations. But I want to just bought this Wi-Fi thing, and it has to pay for itself, and what better way is one of you all who really can make it. I know there's a couple of you all that have came through and made $100 donations here recently, and it has helped me to buy a few pieces of equipment, to try to make the show better. I want to get off into editing. I want to get off into green screen. I want to be able to show you the stories while I'm bringing you the video live. And right now, it's just my finances won't allow me to buy all this extra equipment. So again, if you all feel like you really like what it is that we do, the financial information is down at the bottom. 5 of y'all go ahead and make a $10 donation. That will really help us over the next 2 days. And if nothing else, that'll be, at least 2 more shows somewhere in the upcoming week that we can do. Because, we will have our Wi-Fi and all that taken care of. But anyway, if there's no more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this video down for a moment. I'll come back as I find out more information. There's a couple more stories I would like to talk about, such as what's going on down there in Haiti. Talk about the upcoming midterm election. The Democrats are really dependent on this war. Why is it that war brings out that patriot, that so-called patriotic spirit that they try to get us all in to go and send our children over there to die? I believe the people who declare war should be the first ones to go and fight it. What say y'all? Y'all think so too? So again, y'all, please hit the like button, hit the share button. And again, if you can, look down at the bottom. There's a place where you can support the channel financially. Until y'all see me on another one of these videos, man, y'all still, if you're watching this video after the fact, please leave a comment, because I try to check all the comments on every video that we do. But yeah, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you're notified, because you never know when I'm gonna pop up and bring you the real news behind the news. And right now, it's bad over in Ukraine. It has the potential to get worse, but I think that it's gonna pan itself out if the Russians can quickly achieve their goals of demilitarizing the certain areas of that country. This will be a short, I guess it will be a short event, but if the West choose to continue to meddle, it has the potential to spiral out of control real fast. I'm at work right now. What's going on, Jackson boy? Come back on later about 9 or 10. I can do that. I can do that, Jackson boy. I was saying I lost my train of thought, but yeah, if the Russians could obtain their goals real quickly, this thing will be over pretty soon. But it really should have been avoided, because again, this just didn't happen overnight, man. This has been in the works for 8 years now, and Russia, all the United States had to do was literally say, we guarantee you, the Russians, that we will not allow Ukraine to join NATO. All the Ukrainians could have easily say, well, we understand the Russians' concerns, and we're not going to be a pro-Western or pro-NATO government. We'll remain neutral. That way we can work with Russia. But no, you have a group of neo-Nazis inside of the Ukraine, incorporated into the Nazis' political system and military, who have basically been committing a genocide against the people of the Donbass for the last 8 years, and basically amassing weapons of war along the Russian border and threatening the strategic security of Russia as a country, as a whole. So again, man, I thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all support, man. Again, if you really like what we do, the financial information is at the bottom. Y'all bless this channel. Hey, till y'all see me again, y'all be blessed.